Welcome, everybody.
Woo!
You've all went and bought my shit, right? Awesome. Thank you. Thank you very much. Before we start playing with some toys, I found 10. I have 10 at Enamel Walker pins with boxes that I guess I had stashed away for a toy show.
A rainy day.
So I have 10 of these available. I have not added them to my store, so just anybody can go buy them. If anyone wants one for $15, shipping included, I'll give everyone in the chat now a deal. $15 American shipped for this upside down Enamel Walker pin.
And they're awesome. They are really, really awesome.
These are by far the most popular ones I've done, and the ones I have sold the most of, even though I make the same amount of all of them. It did sell out. So DM me on Instagram or Twitter or Facebook, and I'll send you a PayPal invoice. And you can help support me and my cat.
Nice.
How are you guys doing today?
Good. I've been growing this for a couple of weeks now.
Yeah, last week I saw a little bit of stubble, but now
all the grays just popped right in.
You're in the beard club, and Super John's in the stash club.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, look at this. I could do the curly kills here.
Chicks dig it. Yeah, Vern's been playing with his beard the past 10 minutes in the green room. I love it. And I know he's sweating and got a rash, and he's allergic to like polyester. But it's weird because his hair is fake, so you think he'd be used to the fake beard too.
And I actually had to get my hair cut yesterday, which you guys keep calling my fake hair. So,
well, it's like
we can see the line right there. I mean, like there's
like Hasbro uses your hair to sculpt all their figures, don't they?
Yeah,
like base model.
How do you keep the hair from going in your mouth?
It's
like
beard wax.
Yeah, put stuff.
And then when you're eating,
if you reach in with your finger and pull out all that wax, you can start smoothing it in.
Yeah, well, if I'm mid-eating a sandwich and mustache goes in my mouth, I'll stop eating my sandwich and go trim my mustache, even if I'm at the high-end restaurant, because you can't have that. You can't be eating your own hair.
So you guys just take your beards off when you get to the restaurant?
You can, yeah. This is fully removable. It's Velcro.
Like mine.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm done with that.
So let's welcome some of the cool kids in the chat. The Lack Attack.
Oh, shoot.
And I just wanted to clear up some controversy from early this morning. Speeder bikes don't have kickstands. Speeder bikes don't like sit on the ground ever unless they're broke.
They float.
They hover on the ground. And then
who said they had a kickstand?
Well, this crazy kid thinks they hit the ground. Blue Harvest thinks they sit on the ground. And Blue Harvest, like me, the speeder bike is my favorite Star Wars vehicle. I know a lot about the Air 95 company, and they
just showed them in Andor, and they were floating in the air.
Yeah.
Yeah, but while they were driving it.
In 83.
No, so they showed them floating in the air while they were parked behind those two guys.
So, like the Kenner version, they were able to just kind of sit on the ground on the footrests.
Yeah, on the footrests.
In real life, because speeder bikes are real, they don't sit on the footrests. They hover above the ground.
I mean, the only reason that they may have appeared that way in some shots of Return of the Jedi was because they were trying to use elements of the environment to hold them up. You know what I mean? Like things don't float on
in a way, so you can't see the bar that's holding it up.
Yes, exactly.
But this thing's not gonna. If it was a real speeder bike, it's not gonna hover 3 feet above tall grass. It's going to hover 3 feet above the ground. Yeah. And if there's tall grass that comes up 4 feet, it's going to be in the 4 foot grass.
The tall grass. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, that tall grass is hiding the metal pole that holds it up. Like the land
on Earth. Yeah, on Earth.
But
if anybody had...
I'm glad it's coming out in a retro style box.
I don't have
don't-
the black one. No.
No, me either.
I don't have the trooper that goes with this.
Oh, you
The
get that
black
one.
one
on
looks
the
cool.
loose
Yeah.
spot?
I couldn't believe I passed on the. I think you know what it was is. Because I remember one day seeing a whole end cap full of those, and I think I was living in Seattle at the time, and I was waiting to see if they'd get marked down, and then when I finally found them, I didn't have the money to buy them, and I remember being like, I have the money, but it'll put me at zero, so maybe I shouldn't get them just yet, and
These are so
I should have.
small, man.
I should have bought them, because.
Now that you think about it in hindsight, it's like,
it's like I should have bought them. Yeah.
So I got a whole slew of speeders. I got this one, and I got like 3 of the brown ones, all in a auction lot like a few years ago. It was like $23 for the entire lot.
Nice.
The problem is
With a bunch of speeders.
yeah, they didn't
Oh.
have these. So what I did was when that Hobgoblin Marvel Legends came out, he had that sled with this. People
Yeah.
were selling the sled in this for like $10. So I ended up
is it
just
the same
buying.
stand?
Yeah, it's the same stand.
Oh, very
So
cool.
I just-
very cool.
I just bought the stands to replace them. So if you have a speeder that doesn't have stands, you can look for that Marvel Legends that had that glider.
It's cool. That's
and
good
then,
to know. I have every
yeah.
speeder, I'm pretty sure, except for that black one and like the Hot Toys one. That's I'm sure it's like
There
several.
wasn't there.
$100.
What was there? There was a white one and there was a brown one, right? I mean, there's not.
Yeah,
like,
there was some
more-
Arctic white ones in the Saga collection.
And then this one has a different stand.
Oh, I don't
Yeah.
have any of the runs with Grogu because they weren't
Yeah, this.
available in Canada for whatever reason.
Yeah, now it's just a ridiculous price. I mean, it went from the regular 49, and that's the crazy. This was 49, I think, and then that vintage collection one's going to be $44.
Yeah,
Yeah.
49 means 99 in Canada, even though our dollar is only worth 25.
That's the stand that they used for
Ray speeder.
Welcome,
Oh,
Mr.
and
Brando. Mr.
the-
White Shadow.
Emphas Nest. Emphas Nest.
Yes, yeah.
That
Emphas
one.
Nest. Yeah, her speeder bike was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Mr. Lobotster. Yeah, I think we're going to open some.
Robot.
I just can't believe how big that Emphas Nest one is. That's a massive speeder.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
ridiculous.
I've never even opened that one.
What?
I have it open. I like it.
Man.
I opened it and filmed my granddaughter putting it together just to prove that like a 7-year-old could do it.
Leave them in the box. Let them breathe. Hope you're doing well, Chris. Good to see you popping up in the chat.
Well, I have a vintage quiz today. I have a quiz, so we can
Oh yeah, we can do that.
Okay.
like
I'm gonna lose.
I got this
We'll shake and bite.
random. I got a random set of figures from a job lot, like a big lot of figures. So like I got these two guys. Like, do you know who they are?
Mask. Not Mask.
Yeah, they're from Mask.
That
No, I
is
don't know any of their names. Kickstand and
Yellow Jacket and Orange Helmet.
There
Those
you
are
go.
good.
Yeah. He was the guy who flew the Condor, the green helicopter. And then this is Bruce Sato, who came with the Rhino, the Rhino.
And do you know those names off by heart?
Some of them, I don't know everybody in Mask, but
I know none of them. It just wasn't a toy I got as a kid.
I know Bruce Sato because Bruce was one of my favorite characters. I used to play with Bruce all the time.
I like
I'm
them now.
Bruce Sato, and I'm going to take you
It's a
out.
really cool scale to get lots of vehicles and play sets, and I'm surprised,
Yeah.
Hasbro never kept going with that scale, whether it's for Star Wars or any other brands that they, even G.I. Joe and shit they own. I don't know why they didn't do that scale because it's the universe they can make.
Yeah, and these guys are the same scale. You know what these guys are?
Dino Riders or Dragon. I got a couple. of
Dino
those.
Riders. Yeah, Dino
Wow.
Riders.
That's
You
like
guys are
one of the
good.
Ant-Man, right?
Yeah, he came with the Ankylosaur Dino Rider. But he might be a duplicate. I might not need this guy.
No
Well, then
leg.
look at.
It's hovering.
Do you know
Come
who
on,
this guy is?
Come
This
on.
guy's a duplicate. I don't need this guy. This guy I'll trade.
That's
for someone.
Robotech, right?
It is Robotech, yeah.
Oh, Vern, the quiz is. You win the quiz.
I know. Vern's winning the quiz.
I don't know his name.
He's
but
one of
I know
the
it's
like
Robotech.
Imperial leader guys on the bad guy side. But I can trade him. I don't need him. He was an
Looks a
extra.
little bit like Doc Brown.
And then how about this guy?
On Gap After Dark. Is that a troll? Not troll. What's those? Gargoyle?
No, not the gargoyles. He's
That's
a
not
demon. He's a demon figure from Black Star.
Is he does he articulate?
No, they don't. Every Black Star figure, if they were a bad guy, they came with a demon, and if they were a good guy, they came with one of those Trobits.
So does that have 0 point articulation?
This one does, yeah. But the
Look at
big
Deltoids must like
the figure that he came with.
the figure that he came with, yeah, articulated. But you got these little statue guys as an extra that came with the figure. So
now that would just make it a deluxe.
So, I know, and it would cost $50.
Right.
Repulsor lift vehicles in the Star Wars universe, they hover.
They hover. They
don't-
showed it in the
Unless
last
they're
episode of
broken.
They're on the
Andor.
ground. If you actually, like I even went back on Disney Plus after that little debate, and I went to the Return of the Jedi, and I went to the speeder bike scene while the speeder bikes are sitting there talking about something, and they're like, "Hey, look over there!" They are hovering. They're not.
Speeder bikes don't
They're not
talk.
on a pole or a
The
plastic.
speeder bike said, "Hey, over there."
Yeah, they did. They talk.
Oh,
So I got this guy. You know who this guy
Bikes
is?
are talking.
that's a Dungeons and Dragons, right?
I have him too. That's the one I got. How you doing, Shane? Shane is.
What did he have for weapons? Do you remember what he had?
Uh,
Does anyone know? I want to complete him at some point, but I don't know.
does
what
he
had.
have like a baseball bat with like the spikes in it,
Was that it? Yeah, or a club
or an
I don't know.
axe?
Oh, interesting.
But this is why I wanted the lot, because I wanted the Dungeons and Dragons figures. So to me, it was worth buying the whole pile just to get these guys.
Yeah, I agree with
I
you.
got-
Sometimes when you're looking at toy lot,
I got this guy too.
oh, look at that.
He's awesome. I need him. I almost bought one.
And they're in beautiful shape. I mean, look at this. The arm, it's not floppy. You know what I mean? Like they're perfect. So why?
That guy's from the Road Warrior, right?
No, it's Dungeons and Dragons, but yeah, he sure does look like it, right?
Yeah.
And then I got the shield. Like, does this shield go to this guy, or does this go to a different guy?
The shield is round and just silver.
Okay,
Yeah, I
so
think
this
that's
shield goes
somebody
to
else.
like the good guy, the good guy knight.
Could
guy.
be wrong, but I think his shield is just completely round, similar to He-Man's.
Yeah, okay. This must be the good guy shield that goes
Cowboys
to
of
the
Moo
good
Mesa.
guy.
What is that? A toy line? Cowboys of Moo Mesa?
And then I got this little guy. I don't know who he is. It says AMCO on the back. AMCO. 1982. AMCO
Wow.
1982.
Do you think that came out of one of those gumball type machines?
Maybe, right? I mean, it looks like it. He's tiny enough.
That's a freak of nature.
Yeah, what's wrong
Like
with his head?
something with legs or something.
Yeah.
Never.
So
seen
they
that
only
one.
revealed one repack of Boba Fett, Vern. Are you upset? They should have revealed maybe 3 first.
What was the most hilarious thing about that Boba Fett was that if you watch him and Hoenn about the Boba Fett, and then it seemed like they were going to get to like what they did to upgrade him, and then it was like he wanted. I almost felt like he was mumbling that they fixed up the yellow paint, and it was very specific, just the yellow paint.
I think he had to
jetpack.
point out something so it wasn't just a repack of a repack.
But just the yellow paint. Like, is that really all they did?
And I don't get. He said like, "Oh," and he turned it sideways. He's like, "We had to make this bubble bigger." I'm like, no,
Like,
you,
he
there's
did
no-
because there's so much room behind the dude. He obviously didn't. You know why they had to make the bubble bigger though, right? To justify the fact that they're calling it a deluxe.
yeah, to charge more.
Yeah.
Because with this
That's
deluxe figure,
$50 at Amazon Canada. That Boba Fett on the retro card is $50.
like honestly, the way Boba Fett would come in a regular package is his jetpack would be on his back. He would be there, and then these little things might just be around him, and it would fit in the regular size box and not this deluxe. There's no deluxe about this.
Yeah.
So Lobot's saying that I think he's saying that Shield goes to Titan. I'm not sure who Titan is, but I think
Yeah. who's
another
Titan?
D&D figure.
Yeah.
He's saying that Shield goes to Titan.
Oh.
You know what's really interesting is like Dandy, right? Danny.
Yeah.
So he had a picture once, and he just showed me. He was like, "Hey, is there anything in this photo you're interested in, and I have this Lone Ranger, and I don't know how it happened, but I looked at that picture, and these two little guns were in the picture just amongst a bunch of figures, and I was like, oh, I want those guns.
Yeah,
And
I need
don't
the
know
guns. I need the guns.
And I just don't know how. Like, I saw them and realized those are the Lone Rangers.
Yeah.
You know. So
Is it not solid black? It has some silver paint on it, or are they silver?
Yeah, they do. Well, I think there's are they? Yeah, I guess they have silver paint, huh?
Now, is that? I wonder if that's the correct one.
well, they match, and I'm pretty sure they're his. Right?
Works, but I'm thinking like the Indiana Jones had a solid black blaster. That, of course, that wasn't made by Hasbro. But
I mean, these guns could have went to any one of the characters. I think from.
I think
from
they
that
all
line,
used
right?
the same gun. Yeah, they were.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
I have that figure, and horse. And I need the Indiana Jones horse.
So I do need one more gun,
Oh,
and
nice.
actually would like to find Tonto at some point.
That's cool.
So
I'm
I-
glad you have some vintage toys, Vern. Welcome.
Oh, I got a lot of vintage toys.
Did you see Tonto in my video today? I have him in there.
You want to send this to me?
No, he's mine in my collection.
No, I watched your start. Yeah, I got that one too. I love that one.
I need a sword.
Vern, you should have told me I had vintage toys. I'd invite you on my show every week.
Yeah, I need a sword for this guy.
I don't have a sword, but I have an extra set of all the figures.
Oh, really?
I have Calibos without a tail.
Yeah, I got him without a tail too. So I
I
have.
need 4 figures for that
Perseus.
line.
I'd like to get it. I'd like to get because I have a shield for him, but I dropped it on the ground, so I got to find it. But
Same shield and sword for all.
yeah. But I'd like to find swords.
Lone Ranger had white grips. Okay,
What?
well, in real.
Well,
movie stuff he
I
did.
have them on card. I could go get the carded one and look.
Okay. I'd
Yeah,
like
yeah.
to know if
That'd be
I got the right guns because.
Let me go grab them. I'll be right back.
I mean, I don't mind because he's got he's got them. I feel like he looks good with them in there.
Yeah, no, it's awesome. Your Pegasus look nice and white too.
Yeah.
He
I actually found that at Goodwill a long time
serious.
ago.
I might have paid $25 for mine 15 years ago.
Okay, Rick, there's my vintage Star Wars.
Oh shit, dude! Nice.
I actually put your card back, the Boba Fett pin, behind
Yeah,
my.
Dino was doing that too.
Yeah.
All right, John's got a couple of. All right, am I doing this right? How do I do this?
They're black.
There.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm going to be able to make it so you can see it, but.
Oh
Looks-
yeah,
That looks
Yeah.
silver.
yeah, I see them. Those are the
Silver
same
with a
guns.
black handle.
Yeah, silver with a
guns.
black handle.
That's
See them?
fantastic. I love that card too. I wish I had them on card.
Yeah, they're.
Yeah, I think decent shape too. I've seen them a couple times at toy shows, but I think the asking price was too high, so I left them there.
In loose, I've got Lone Ranger Tonto, and I got
Cheers, Mr.
this
Lack.
dude with no hat, though. I don't think he has his hat on. And then I got a big fat version of this guy. He's the same colors as this guy, but he's like a big fat dude. So I
Great.
think there was another line that went like maybe was Zorro line.
And what's the other one you got?
Yeah, I
Tonto?
think you're right.
Yeah, Tonto.
Nice.
Yeah, I need that
Tonto
one.
looks like a brown handle. See that?
Yeah, I'd like to find that one. And I need a loose so I can set
And
him up on my
Tonto's got
shelf.
a knife or something.
Nice. Yeah,
Yeah, his knife.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, they're cool figs. The knee articulation, much like the Indiana Jones and those.
So they could fit on the horses better, I think.
Yeah, but I mean, when they're not on horses, they look like they're sitting on horses.
But I remember I had these were some of our first action figures. Mark and I played with these. It was, I guess alongside.
Me.
I guess alongside Star Wars. They were like some of the first ones we incorporated into our Star Wars guys, and I remember having the horses, and so that's why I got them on card a long time ago because they really brought back childhood memories of playing with them.
Those are beautiful. I love them. They're in perfect shape. This is
So,
part of my
okay,
other vintage toy collection.
Kung Fu grip. if you
This
call
is
it.
this is before the Kung Fu grip.
Yeah.
Okay.
I actually have these ones that I got from Walmart like a few years ago, and I just keep him like kind of in the box for the.
Cheers,
And I
brother.
have the Walmart one like on the shelf out of the box.
Like a re-release.
Yeah, and I'm trying to keep him in much better shape because this is actually one of my the only like pre-70s one I think that I got, or 70s.
Is that actually from your childhood? Like you've had
Yes.
them out?
Yeah.
So
This
you were
one
like 20 when you got that.
I'm sorry.
You were
Oh,
20 years old when you got
No,
that.
I was before I was 7 years old. I had this because we had this on Okinawa. I have the yellow helicopter, the one with the big glass dome,
Yeah.
and you push the
Oh,
button
okay,
and
okay.
it spin. I have that helicopter.
Oh, speaking of helicopters.
The kid in the TV commercial almost gets cut in half by that blade.
Uh-huh.
I remember seeing it. He's like,
So crazy.
watch this. We're all gone. No one's on the stream.
we all left.
So no one's looking at my cool A-Team helicopter.
You have an A-Team helicopter?
Oh yeah.
Let me see that. Oh my gosh, that looks awesome.
It's
Is that
quite-
for?
And believe it or not, this goes with like the 5-inch action figures, which don't fit inside. 375.
That's cool though.
Yeah, it is. It's very cool.
Did they come out with a version for that for the Magnum PI? You think, or no?
I know they did like in smaller scale,
I have this Airwolf.
like Corgi. Yeah, that's like a drone, eh?
It's a COX. I would say Cox, but then
Cox,
everybody's going to give me a hard time. They were those little motors. You put like some fuel in them, you ignite it, and basically it just flies on its own for like a few minutes, and then we'll come back down. Now, one of the blades I have, it's off right now because I have it stored, so it takes up less space. But
That's Airwolf. And John, you got the Blue Thunder.
yeah, John's got that Blue Thunder. Made me jealous when I saw
So
it.
it's cool. We all have a cool helicopter that no one else in this trio has.
When I have 2 dragonflies and one of the locust from G.I. Joe.
Dragonfly. I had that as a kid. That was a cool toy. My favorite G.I. Joe vehicles were the Dragonfly helicopter.
Yeah, the dragonfly was one of my favorites. Yeah.
And is it called the Killer Whale, the hovercraft?
Oh yeah.
I loved that toy. Like I took it in the creek, like it floated too. It was freaking rad. I love that toy. And the
It's
snowmobile.
upside down, Vern.
What?
The front's upside down.
Oh come
Oh,
on!
is it?
And
Well, John, that's
the
easily
G.I. Joe
resolved
snowmobile called?
because look,
Oh no.
The Polar Cat or the white snowmobile?
Yeah, the white was the polar battle bear snowcat.
Yeah. I like that one as a kid because
I had that one too. Yeah.
And our GI Joes had Canada flags on them, which is cool.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
Yeah, I know it was still said the real American hero, but it had Canadian flags on them.
Why didn't they put the real Canadian hero on it?
No, they didn't. Well, because Canada doesn't really have an army. But in the
Not Mounties.
in the UK, the Action Man stuff I saw last week, Connor posted a little cartoon commercial.
yeah,
And they actually
Action
changed the
Man
lyrics.
theme.
Yeah, the theme song. Like I thought for a minute it was fake and he made it, but I'm like, no, that looks pretty legit.
that was
Like,
legit. Yeah, I think that was legit. There you go. I got it right, John. Is that fine?
Yeah.
Yes.
There you
All
go.
approved.
So one of my other favorite toys as a kid was this one, the lizard woman from
Star Trek, right?
Flash Gordon.
Flash Gordon.
And
That is a cool one for sure.
and again, so because it was one of my favorites as a kid, I had to buy it on card years back. So it's the only,
Cool.
like a lot of these, the only one I have in the package is the stuff I remember as a kid. Like we had Lone Ranger and Tonto. I had this figure, but for the longest time, I did not know this was a Flash Gordon figure, even as a kid. I just had no idea where I got it or found it. It must have been one of those things where we were in the toy store. We couldn't get a Star Wars figure or something was wrong. This might have been the only thing they had. And I was like, I'll take the lizard lady. And and probably opened it up and threw the packaging away. And she went in the cantina with all the Star Wars guys,
Oh, why not? Yeah, that's great.
And,
Yeah.
but it was like as an adult, I finally found. I think I saw this at a comic show or something. And I was like, "Holy crap! There's the lizard lady I had as a kid." You know, it was like
I really like that card back.
Revelation. This big revelation of that's where she came from.
Yeah.
And
So
then of course I had to go and collect all these loose. You know, I had to go find all the loose figures because some of these on card, like you get that winged guy, the Hawkman guy, like they're like millions of dollars. It's crazy.
It's crazy, right? Like,
yeah,
Canadian.
it boggles my mind how much some of the vintage stuff will be like priced at,
especially
or known for.
things that nobody knows about.
Yeah.
You're like, no one on earth knows this line, but yet somehow they're like millions of dollars. Like, why is the demand that high if nobody knows about them?
So it seems like nobody's chatted like in 15 minutes. So I'm just checking to see if I'm still live here.
It's Klinger from Match.
Yeah, it's still going. So please participate in the chat, kids. Or
No,
adults.
Lax saying like about the gun grips. Hey, that was 10:44. That was like not even 5 minutes ago.
Look,
Somehow
you can
Geek
get-
Strong stole my idea, but I'm like, what was my idea that he stole?
You can get Klinger in the pink dress.
Yeah, actually, I saw one of those on Facebook the other day.
Oh, is that
Isn't
Max?
funny?
Really good sculpt. Oh, there's a
Yeah,
helicopter.
Oh, that's cool. I had some of the taller ones, you know, that were like the marks or whatever.
Oh,
Like
yeah,
Negro
yeah.
size.
Yeah, I had a couple of those at one point. But they were, I don't know
Easy.
why they just broke.
Those like Klinger, for example, like he's a cross dresser, right? Like that's the word.
Yeah.
He wore a dress and stuff, so like he'd get kicked out of the wars. Like that was his intention, right? Like, oh, if they think I'm a weirdo, they'll send me home.
Yeah.
It's weird because nowadays that's normal.
Yeah.
But see, back then they still had the don't
Well, not
ask,
normal.
don't
I
tell,
don't
right?
think you're
Yeah,
allowed to be
something
a
like that.
cross-dressing army person. I don't know the rules. Is there
That
rules?
was even before Don't Ask, Don't Tell.
That was a long time ago, man. I remember you guys are old, Vern. Yeah, I know you're old, but do you remember the last episode of MASH?
Yeah.
Yes.
That's one of my favorite TV show finales of all time, where they all.
It is rated as one of the best finale television and most watched. It's one of the most watched finales.
I'll tell you my favorite ending.
Newhart was one of the most.
That's what I was going to say. Yeah,
endings.
that was my
to a
favorite
sitcom ever.
ending ever.
That was the dream ending, right?
Yeah, he woke up and it was all a dream.
Yeah, he wakes up from it's all a dream. Yeah,
But that also happened on Dallas,
Did it?
where JR got shot, and then they woke up next year, and Patrick Duffy, like the whole last season was a dream. I don't remember it accurately as I should because it was more my mom's TV show.
Yeah,
but
I think like JR
something
still
like
got
the whole
shot,
season was a dream.
but they took something back. They took a whole season back. Yeah.
Yeah, well, do what you got to do. And
Well,
funny,
St.
the
Elsewhere ended in a snow globe.
The Newhart show. Remember they made a new show, like where, hi, I'm Larry. This is my brother Daryl. My other brother Daryl. They actually, when that show ended too, he woke up, and it was a dream from the previous Newhart show. Like, yeah, it's just classic. So I'm gonna rip. Oh, yellow, red.
I got both of those. Those
Are
are
they
cool.
selling for $180 on eBay? I don't.
Oh
think
come on, no, they're not. Are they?
No.
I don't know, man. I don't think anything sells on eBay, to be honest.
I'll put mine back in the box and sell them.
I put up a wave of Rocky figures, which are quite valuable and quite hard to find. The last set sold for $800. It's 4 figures, and it sold, and it was recent. I put it up for $500, and it's got like 42 views, and it's been up there for like 10 days. So eBay is completely broken. I've learned now on eBay, if you want your post to be viewed, you have to pay more. So
yeah,
much
you do.
like,
Yeah.
much like I've learned over the past 3 months, I am actually shadow banned on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter, and I believe now I know on eBay, and I think even on the YouTube or whatever, the Google.
Because what happens with eBay and Mercari, to be quite frank, what they do is if you type in, say, Rocky action figures, like even if your title was the exact words Rocky action figures, yeah.
These are on Shop Goodwill right now. There's 3 days left. It's currently at $32.
But those are the new ones, right? Yeah, he was talking the vintage, wasn't he?
No, mine are newer NECA ones.
Really?
Those are the previous ones.
Yeah, these ones are from Jack's Pacific 2006. But I mean, if you look at,
they came with a side of beef. One of them, like literally, Rocky came with a frozen slab of beef, which is a great accessory. Really.
Rocky and Bullwinkle figures right here. Nobody's bidding.
Yeah, I don't think I can shop at Shop Goodwill from Canada.
Mine always get snaked, and then they go for way more than what I thought they would, what I would pay anyway.
I picked up another hand.
And it's probably him. It's probably Vern that's buying them, because I see the same lot that he is, and I go, look at that, that's a good lot. Why not? And then I'll put my bid in, and then someone else will go, I'll buy that for $35, and I'm like, no, I want it for $10. Why did you have to go $35? Like, I'm not paying $35. I wanted it for $10. Why can't I get it for $10?
Well, you know what I do is I look for lots with other stuff that I could like sell off.
Yeah, that's what I mean. That's
like I just picked up the.
I don't need the Dino Rider. I don't need the. I don't think I need whatever the hell this thing is.
Yeah, I just got. I'll show you the lot I just won.
So here's my my NECA Rocky figures that I'm just trying to unload because I know they're valuable and they're worth a couple bucks. So there's 2 Dragos, and
they look good. They look really good.
Yeah, those are pretty awesome looking.
They're some of the best figures NECA ever made. They don't break. I don't know if you can see the Rocky figure.
He's got a punched face.
Yeah, he's got a face with spit and blood coming out of it. It's freaking rad, man. And Apollo's got his hat and a nice grin, kind of like Lando. There's a grin and no grin. He's got 2 heads here. And then we got Ivan Drago, and then we got Ivan Drago again.
That went for $800. The other one.
Yeah.
The previous lot of this sold for $800 American, and I'm trying to sell this for $476 American. I've got now it says 81 views, so apparently I got 40 views today. And
you mentioned it on a live stream, so everybody went and saw it.
Hopefully.
But
and I've got 9 offers that are all like,
it's going to be like $300, right? Yeah.
People kind of lowball and shit, but I don't know. If they came close, if someone offered me $600 Canadian, I would sell them.
But what I was going to say is, like, if someone types in NECA Rocky 40th Anniversary 7-scale action figure, just like your title, yours won't come up on the list. Yours will be 200 down on the list.
No, it actually does show up because I asked Mark to do a test.
It's really strange.
Okay, right?
I find it really strange how sometimes that happens, because
it is weird.
And then, but then you have to do it like by price, and suddenly your listing shows up when you start sorting it by.
Yeah, when I search at my computer, I gotta search by the highest price item, and then I come up first, which is weird. Well, not first. There's a couple of autographed figures and stuff higher than me, but
they'll put someone who paid to have their thing boosted.
Much like Google.
What'll happen is it'll be about like Star Wars figures. And you're like, I didn't type in Star Wars. I put in Rocky.
Oh, good point. Yeah, I never thought about that.
It'll the first 2 or 3 that are boosted, that someone paid to boost, won't be related to your search at all. And I'm like, well, what the hell?
It might have the word action figure in it. You're right.
Maybe that's what it is. It's got the word action figure. Yeah, but I'm like, I don't, that's what it bothers me as a browser, that I have to go in and put in specific, like, show me listings by cheapest price first or something like that. Like that, their listing most relevant is not most relevant in my opinion.
Yeah.
Somebody has that set for $474.
I used to actually make a living selling my stickers and stuff on eBay, back about 10 years ago, and I made good money. Like I would sell a sticker for $5, and I would sell like average 10 or 20 a day. And I did the same thing on Etsy, and I would sell 10 or 20 a day, just stickers that I made. And then it got to a point on Etsy where at the end of the month, Etsy would give me a bill. Oh, your bill is $400, and I only made like $375. So what? And it was just a scam. It's a total scam now. I don't recommend anyone use Etsy. I reported them to the Better Business Bureau of Canada because they actually stole $800 of my money, and because I complained, I contacted them. I said, please, when people pay me in US dollars, please don't convert it to Canadian dollars and send it to me, because you guys are making 40% extra profit. So let's explain it. Let's say I made $1,000 on Etsy one month in American dollars. I got 800 and something Canadian dollars. How is that legal in any sense of the form? It's not.
It should have been more Canadian. It should have been more than 1,000 Canadian.
Yeah, 25-30% more. So because they took a cut, we are charging you 20% to convert this money to Canadian, even though I didn't want it to be converted to Canadian. It's weird. And now eBay is kind of the same thing. eBay used to use PayPal. You can still buy shit from PayPal, but me, the seller, I don't get the money via PayPal. No. I get it in my bank account.
And it takes an extra
4 days later.
4 days later, yeah.
And eBay takes a cut. They're going to take a 20% conversion cut for converting my money to Canadian that I didn't request.
And the big thing that I've seen with a lot of complaints about eBay, if you're a big seller, like say you're selling $10,000 worth of stuff a day, okay? You have to pay all the shipping
in advance
before you get the money that the person paid. You get that 4 days later. So when that first went into effect, I saw a lot of eBayers going, I went $10,000 in debt because I was shipping all this stuff out.
That's insane.
Before I realized I didn't get the money back, and the money didn't show up for 4 days. So it screwed up all their bank accounts because everyone's bank account went negative because they didn't plan that during the transition. You know what I mean? It's like, what the hell, eBay? Like,
so of the 10 people in the chat, can one of you type something in the chat so I know this is working? It's weird, man. Usually there's a comment every minute, and there's been no comments. I don't know because I'm funny looking.
I just typed hey. Ghost says hi. Oker said hello. Brian's waving.
Says Vern's muted. Why you muted, Vern? What are you hiding?
I was opening up.
I got you.
I was letting it breathe, so I didn't want the plastic to go over you.
This guy's
There's
pretty
Hawkeye from the Marvel Legends Disney Plus.
I love that show, man. I thought that was one of my favorite Disney Plus shows.
Mine too. To me, it had a total because at Christmas, I think it was like a Die Hard vibe to me. You know, with like the music and the Christmas timing and stuff like that. I did really like it.
That's a new one, eh, John?
Fairly new, yeah. It's a Transformer I have.
Yeah, this is a good look. This is a good looking figure. I'm thinking it's the same updated mold as this guy.
Right. I think.
But
the guy with the missile launcher or whatever he was called.
Yeah, I got the yellow one here too. Yeah, also his hand, this hand that holds the barrel of the gun is a really wide grip, which is
it was a weird grip. I remember that. You're right, yeah.
And he does have a human face underneath too.
Really?
It's weird. This helmet is hard plastic. The Boba Fett ones are like soft plastic. Those are the ones that kind of deform as soon as they put them in these clamshells. But because they're not using these clamshells anymore, the helmet shouldn't be deformed anymore, right? But Vern, your selfie figure was all deformed, and this is wrapped with a piece of twine.
Yeah.
How does that happen? Like the twine doesn't even grab the legs; it just goes once around the waist, doesn't it? Good looking face.
Yeah.
Welcome, Sean Solo. How you doing, buddy?
Hey, Sean. So I'm almost out of Legends, but I think I will probably pick up some of the MCU ones, especially if I like the show a lot. I didn't pick up any of the Moon Knight ones, but I did like this show a lot, so that's why they're
I saw at my Walmart yesterday a white Black Panther.
Yeah,
what is that from a comic?
White Panther.
It wasn't called White Panther. It was called I don't remember what it was called. It was part of that wave in the movie.
Yeah,
And I'm like, is this guy in a movie like White Panther?
it was in the comics, yeah. But
Oh, okay.
I don't know if that person's appearing in the movie or not. But
Yeah, what's awesome about these is they're actual backpacks. Like you can use these parts on other figures, and there's not like a peg hole.
no, they
Right.
actually have straps. Yeah,
So
yeah,
same with this guy too. You take him off, he's just a really cool sand trooper.
yeah.
I dig these. I'm glad I opened them. All right, I'm hot. I'm getting hot.
He's a cool bot. I like this guy.
Is that Jetfire? I don't know.
Yeah, this is Jetfire. No,
Is
it's
it really?
Wheelie. It's
got it.
Wheelie. No, it's Wheelie.
Oh damn! I don't know all my Transformer names.
Jetfire.
Hey, corner.
Transformers more than meets the eye.
John, you said you have a spare Tonto?
No.
Oh.
I have
Oh.
one loose, and he's in my collection.
Do you have the loose Lone Ranger?
Yeah, but he's
Okay.
one
have a
for
loose
my
one.
collection.
This is
I have
a-
an extra
a
loose
portrait.
Lone Ranger. His legs are kind of faded though.
Yeah, this guy's got some like yellowing and stuff on him, but this one's extra.
So I'm going to be a vendor for my second time ever at a local toy show, November 19th, which happens
Nice.
to be my birthday.
Oh, happy
So I'll
birthday!
open a bunch of vintage toys there. Oh, this guy. Oh no, he doesn't have a hole in his back either.
But I can keep an eye out, Vern, if you now that I know that you want one of the
Tonto.
Tontos, because I do sometimes see them at
Okay,
at
so
events and things, you know.
this,
I'm looking for a reasonably priced one too, though.
Yeah.
not sure what's wrong here, but this backpack, it does not stay on the figure. Like, what's up with that? Like,
Yeah, it's
how they do this for the photos?
hot glue.
Seriously, like, why was this produced?
Um,
The hell, man!
so you have something to complain
What's
about?
wrong with you?
Look, it doesn't. There's no. It has a peg on it, but there's
Mine
no peg
stays on.
Mine doesn't. It's only like 1 millimeter in diameter.
It goes in the O in the 011.
Oh, there, it's on there now, but barely, man. Like if I breathe, it'll fall off. Otherwise, I like the figure.
Well, I know how to solve that. Don't
Fuck.
breathe.
Breath old. Oh, it fell off again. Damn you! I like the red one better.
You know what? You could take that guy's rocket launcher and pair it up with Spirit and recreate the Spirit firing off mortar shells.
I like the Spirit. I only have 2 GI Joe figures. Spirit, is it Spirit Iron Knight, and what's his name? White Ninja guy. Shadow Storm. Storm Shadow.
Which one? The winter one that they released so that he can crawl around Cobra Island in
Yeah,
the
that looks
snow
retro,
gear?
John. That's cool.
He's a little better. He's better as a robot than a car, I think.
The one that's got the hoodie.
Well, they got that hood.
Border Troopers, pretty cool, but not my favorite. Yellow's kind of girly too. Yeah, I had to force it pretty good, Connor. I didn't think it was like good luck with a kid doing that. Although kids can do anything, like transform toys without instructions. Chris is giving me shit for opening it.
When I got my Galactus, I just put the batteries in. I actually had to look at the instructions again because the head wasn't lighting up. And then when I looked at the instructions again, I was like, oh, it's because there's batteries that go in the head.
And this is the first Stormtrooper.
Yeah, there's
rifle
two
I've seen.
battery spots, right? Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Pretty cool. Yeah, Orlando, maybe I should put up a sign in my booth. It's my birthday. And people come and donate.
Yeah, there you go. Exactly.
The last time I did the show last year with my buddy Jay, I did pretty good. I sold a bunch of pins and patches and toys as well.
You will get that one weirdo who will always come up and be like, "Show me your ID. Is it really your birthday?"
Yeah, to get your free milkshake at McDonald's or whatever. But yeah, it's a good idea. Maybe I do
They
need.
give you guys free milkshakes on your birthday in Canada?
No, but I know lots of restaurants give you.
Oh, you had me all excited. I was gonna move.
Well, they come and sing.
I was gonna move to
Canada just so you get free milkshakes on your birthday.
Yeah, exactly.
That's why half of
I
us
want a
live.
free milkshake on my birthday.
That's what Canada's all about.
Free healthcare, free milkshakes on your birthday, free large fries.
So yeah, I recently got this G.I. Joe. My adventure to collect all the G.I. Joe stuff that I had when I was a kid is one step further. I got the four-wheeler from G.I. Joe for the Cobras.
I had that.
And
red
I put a, I just put him on there to drive it, and the red guy, his tank driver. It was funny because it's one of those things, I'm searching for. Okay, now I want to get the Cobra Ferret. This was called the Ferret four-wheel drive. So I typed in Cobra Ferret, and I got a Cobra Hiss driver as the first thing that popped up on the list. It's kind of what we were talking before.
Oh,
the only word the only word that was the same as what I typed in was Cobra.
Hey,
but
his tank.
Yeah, this was the Hiss tank. The red guy's the Hiss tank driver. But what was funny is he was only $1. So I just went, I'll bid $1 on him, and then I went down and found my ferret thing, and then at the end of the week, I get a notification that just says you won, and I'm like, I won what? What the hell did I win? And I was like, I won the Hiss tank driver, and I'm like, oh, I got him for $1. So I was like, okay.
Yeah.
So check this out. You know, if you back the Hiss tank, you're supposed to be able to cast your vote for the color of that early bird figure.
Yeah.
Did you guys both back the Hiss tank?
No.
Oh, no.
Okay, so I didn't get any emails from Hasbro telling me to vote.
Oh, really?
No, you were supposed to automatically know.
No, my friend at work, he gets an email every day reminding him to vote. So what happened was I went and found the link on somebody's Twitter, and I've been voting. But the thing is, I reached out to Hasbro to ask them, and they were nonchalantly just said, oh, yeah, we didn't send the email out to some people.
Oh, really?
Some people didn't. I'm like, what? So you're telling me, this is, to me, I paid for that, so I have the right to vote that you didn't now give me, and I gave you my money already. Yeah. So basically, you ripped me off.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
You need to tell them that, too. Because then you'll get your money back because they ripped you off.
I never have any luck searching on Kickstarter because people use different words than the English language allows. But there is apparently a 6-inch figure scale Hell Charger on Kickstarter that launches November 1st for less than what Hasbro's charging. I can't find it. I saw a link earlier, but I can't find it now.
Is that a Steel Brigade?
Maybe something to look up later and bring on your show later if you can find it. Oh, nice. Electronics. Now that's vintage, right?
Yeah. Well, I think it could be 90s. I don't know.
It's still the original battery inside too?
No, I changed them out. It's got some corrosion in there, so I was in there scraping some of the corrosion off so the lighting would work.
That's cool, man. Vac metal is just the best.
Yeah. I think this is a lanyard, actually.
All my milkshakes bring Vern to the yard.
So, does anybody recognize...
You can only get maple syrup flavored milkshakes over, and that's the thing.
Do you recognize this guy?
Camera. Oh, dude, that's Burt frickin' Reynolds.
Yeah, he came with was that the Fall Guy?
This is not Burt Reynolds. This is the Wrangler dude or whatever.
Oh, Wrangler jeans?
Yeah, they had a whole series of action figures, and this is the Wrangler one.
I think that's Junkman's favorite toy.
But I think it looks cool because it's
it's totally Burt Reynolds.
Did you just bring up the Junkman?
No, what?
You just did.
Cancel that Junkman. What?
No, did you just say that's Junkman's favorite toy?
I did.
You know that guy refuses to follow me on Twitter.
Oh, really?
He refuses. Yeah. He's like, no.
I unfollow him and follow him almost every day so he gets the notification, but never
He's funny, man.
I'm just messing around.
I put up with him. He pops up in my chat every once in a while and says hello, and then leaves, and probably doesn't like or subscribe. Come on, man! Like
I never see anyone's so and so subscribe to your channel notifications. I don't know where those come up, but I never get them.
No,
I don't think you get notifications that people unsubscribe.
I do. I use a thing called Tweet.
Oh, do you?
Tweets map or whatever, where it shows you like a map of the world where all the people who associate you with Twitter and stuff like that. And every week they send me an email that says, this is how many people followed you, and this is how many people unfollowed you, and here's who they are.
Oh,
so you can actually click on that list and just unfollow those people.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
I helped Junkman buy a car.
Awesome. Look at that. Like, these guys are talking about how Hasbro has blacklisted me, apparently.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah.
Oh.
And then somebody responded on one of my my rants, and they called me a shield. I was like, "Did you not watch the video?"
The best part about Vern's rant videos is like you're kind of smiling the whole time. You're like, I hate this.
Yeah. You don't know what. Like, is this a joke or what's going on?
But I like
have
it.
a little
That's
bit.
why I like it. You should make your thumbnails though, where you're like, like.
I think I did one where I was like this, and then I try to like capture like the one where I'm like trying to do something, but I don't know.
Yeah, thumbnails are fun. I like, I'm not being very creative. I'm more of an artist, so I try to make my stuff graphically appealing.
I think the
like
whole
the
thing.
Funny thumbnails. I love the funny thumbnails. They're my favorite.
Yeah, the whole thing is like when you realize what you're doing. I'm complaining about them talking about how they painted the yellow on a jetpack. So, I mean, in the grander scheme of things, it's kind of funny to me that that's what I'm complaining about. I think that's where the truth lies, right? It's like, is this really important?
I'm just making sure nobody's bought my skiff yet, because I would like to sell it right about now.
So that's not a VR trooper.
Okay, so I'm going to start a GoFundMe to buy your skiff.
There you go.
But the problem is I need to know what the actual math is, because it's not 1984. It's 1984 plus 4% plus the shipping plus the surcharge plus some sort of a user fee.
The 4% I mentioned, I've been using PayPal since day one. So I like PayPal. I live because of PayPal, like, because I don't have a full-time like employer or job. I work from home as a self-employed artist. So companies will mail me checks, like Gentle Giant mails out checks, which is so 1975, like
yeah, right.
Digital, please. But yeah, so that's a part of life. But PayPal, if I sell things online, I get paid with PayPal and in American dollars. And then if I transfer it to my Canadian bank account, PayPal makes a couple of percent. Like, let's say they make 3% off.
Oh, I totally get it.
Converting the money to Canadian. But like, say $100 American still ends up being like 130 Canadian. So the American dollar goes a little further for me as a Canuck. But when I know the rules of PayPal, I know that if you were to buy a toy for me and I tell you on Facebook, please pay as a gift, or please pay as a friend or family, that you're not allowed to do that. PayPal will ban you off PayPal if they find this out. They'll first give you a warning, and if you don't follow the warning, they'll actually take your funds. They'll take all your funds, and you can get a fine of up to $2,500 US for not following their rules. So that's my only. I have a couple of rules on all my Facebook groups where there's people selling and trading toys. The one rule, the most important rule, is put a price, of course. Like, how do you sell stuff without a price? The other one is don't request people that you don't know to pay you via PayPal as a gift, or invent a number, 7 plus 7%. They just invent these numbers. It's 2.7% is how much PayPal charges you as a user to use their not free service. So
sure,
it's like Visa and MasterCard and American Express or Walmart credit cards or whatever. They don't do it for free. It's like your credit card makes a couple percent off loaning you or whatever.
Transaction fee.
So if you abuse that, they'll take away your credit card, much like PayPal will take away your thing. So I am not allowed to ask people to pay that 3% user fee on PayPal. But because I am trying to, sell a, $2,000 or more toy, that adds up. So I try to make my price appropriate. That includes that extra 2 or 3%, whether it's $30 or $40.
I get it. No, I understand it.
I'm not requesting people to pay that. It'd just be nice if they did, right?
So I've done stuff like on PayPal, and like I don't have my bank account set up through there. I just have like a credit card. So if I were to do a friends and family and wants to charge my credit card a cash advance fee of like $10.
Yeah.
So typically what I'll do is I won't send it that way, and then I'll just add in a little bit extra just to make sure it covers whatever PayPal's transaction fee is, which is going to be way less than the $10 that they're going to charge me for that advance fee.
Yeah. PayPal is freaking amazing, man. Like I like it a lot. It's been good for me. What we used to have in Canada, or they still have it in the States, is like they made a PayPal credit card. So like if say you went and shopped and money went directly to my PayPal, I don't wait 4 days for it. It's instantly there. Then I could take my PayPal credit card and go to the store and shop, or go on Amazon and shop.
Is that actually the credit card?
No, in Canada they discontinued it.
I was going to ask if you could show the front and back of it so that we can take a
Good luck. It won't work.
But I just need to see those 3 numbers on the back.
Yeah, I could tell you those numbers. But I appreciate PayPal. Like Elon Musk, who created it, is a freaking very intelligent, smart man. And when he sold it, I'm sure he made a couple of bucks when he sold it. And if he can afford to buy freaking Twitter, the guy knows what he's doing, man. He's flying people to space. He's making rockets that can freaking land themselves. Like, are you kidding me, man? Like,
it's impressive to watch those things land themselves.
I'm blown away. And I know he's holding back stuff. I know that has stuff in the works that hasn't been revealed to the public yet, that we're going to be even blown away more, in 5 or 10 years when it becomes relevant, or, he shows it off kind of thing. Like he's building tunnels underground, like in Chicago, New York, for cars to be magnetic.
Is he actually still, is that company still?
I think Chicago is
the boring company. Yeah.
First place he's doing it. We had a similar boring machine here in Vancouver, because we have our above ground subway here. It's called the SkyTrain here in Vancouver. But when they did a big expansion about 10 years ago, and there was a bunch of underground tunnels where they literally went under like a half a city that existed for 100 years, and they have these boring machines. Like it's a big machine with a big drill bit that just goes underground and drills, and at the same time they put up the concrete, kind of like Lego or whatever building blocks they're using. Just amazing, man. There's some cool videos on the YouTube on how these boring machines work, and it's pretty neat technology that they didn't have in the 60s and 70s when they originally built everyone's underground subways and stuff. Like they would, what's that called? It's like dig and cover. Like they'll dig big holes, build the shit, and then cover it back up again. Like that's how it used to be done. Now with these boring machines, it's pretty magical, man. It's pretty neat how they can do that stuff.
Can you hear me? Because your figure is not in my book.
Can you guys hear me? Because my headphones went out.
Yeah.
It doesn't sound bad?
No.
Okay.
If you're using good Apple products, you'll sound pretty good.
All right.
Oh, look at that. He's open.
It's okay, Chris. It's okay. It's okay, Chris. Yeah, I like the backpack that can be customized or put on other figures.
Yeah, and it has straps. Do you remember the Sesame Street with the cookies for wheels?
Oh my God, yes. I'm pretty sure I had that as a kid.
Yeah.
Did you know we had a little bit of a different Sesame Street in Canada?
What was yours not allowed to say cookie?
No. There was different actors and such. Like it was in Canada. Like,
Because they had to speak French.
no,
They were
Can-
like,
Canada's-
we are Canadian. We have our.
Welcome to the Sesame Street. It's not Sesame Street. It is Canada Row.
it's La Sesame Street.
We have our nice little T-shirt with a maple leaf on it.
And did you guys have polka dot door, romper room, polka dot
We
door?
had romper room,
Romper
yeah.
room.
Is that with Polkaroo?
Romper room scared me because the lady would be like, let's see who's out there today. Oh, I see Jimmy and Billy. And oh, there's Susie. Oh, look, hi, Sally. And I'm sitting there one day and she's like, oh, and look, there's John eating cereal. Hello, John. And I'm going,
Why haven't we seen this guy in Andor yet? What?
like I thought she really saw me, you know? Like I'm
Oh
sitting
my
there
gosh.
with my bowl of cereal and I was like, no.
You guys are both enjoying the Andor show, right?
Yes.
Yeah, it's good.
Are you with me when I'm not complaining, but it's missing a couple aliens and robots like
Oh,
in
yeah.
every episode? Like
Absolutely. We only got one.
That completely takes away from the story.
it doesn't though. Like all you just need is a dude to walk by who's got like big ears or
That's
you know,
just so distracting. Too
like
distracting.
there's that mouse droid. Like the last
Listen.
episode had a mouse droid.
Why
and-
is there not? Yeah. Why is there not one alien in the prison?
Yeah.
They might be on level 4. Like there might be because what I figured there's
Why
7
do they have an
levels.
8-arm guy in there making those?
Oh yeah, he could be on one
6-arm
table.
deals.
Yeah.
He could be doing the
Yeah.
whole thing. Can you imagine how many he could crank out in an hour?
There very well might be like a whole level that's just Greedos or Jawas going to work, but it's just kind of weird that there's not an alien in like every scene. Like the original Star Wars trilogy, there was not
Yeah.
many scenes. Well, not
Only
every
inside the Empire had no
every
alien.
location, every planet, every cantina, or there was always a creature or a droid. Even in the
Did they
cantina
have
where
any
no
creatures
droids are
at the
allowed,
lower
there's
base
droids.
on Hoth besides Chewbacca?
Hoth is a good call. Hoth had a Wampa, Tauntauns.
Yeah,
The
but
bases-
not in the Rebel base.
Yeah. No, the
There's a
bases on both sides did not have aliens. On the human or on the rebels or the Imperials, they didn't really have aliens.
Kinda
But
weird,
it was the
like, Rebels
it was-
didn't have too many aliens with them. It's less, Akbar and
yeah, it
Nine
wasn't until
Nub.
Return of the Jedi. Yeah.
yeah, that's interesting. And then you
But-
get
but
Jabba's
that was-
throne
that
room where
was-
it's like 2 humans. And the
That
rest
was
aliens.
really because of budgeting, though. I mean, like he by the time he got to Return of the Jedi, he had the budget to make Admiral Akbar and Prune
Nine
Face
Nub and all those guys.
Yeah,
right?
Prune Face and Nine Nub.
Naba.
Do it. Oh.
Because originally Jabba was filmed, it was a guy.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I've seen outtakes of the 9 Nub character and Akbar, because a lot of them were some of the same actors, where they're like from filming outtakes from the original Star Wars trilogy, where they show the 9 Nub in the cockpit and he's like, whoa, pretending like he's flying a ship, and you can hear him speaking in English, and you can hear the director
Oh,
saying,
yeah.
okay, now bob your head left and say this. It's freaking hilarious, man. And I
Yeah.
never saw these, until just over the past year when some of the stuff got revealed, and it's freaking awesome to watch that stuff. The Akbar 2 guy, like, they're like, okay, make your mouth move more, and he's like, rah, 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 rah.
That
It was, when they talk in normal English, they're always so it doesn't sound like Nine Nub. He's like,
yeah.
yes, let's get to the chopper.
Kind of like David Prowse when he's saying
Yeah.
Darth Vader's lines, because he said all those lines, and he actually thought, his voice was going to be in the movie, according to him, right? So it's pretty neat to hear the actual dialogue coming just from the actor when it's, going to be dubbed over by James Earl Jones in the future. It's pretty cool to see.
But see, some of this stuff is like what you're saying with the aliens in Andor. Now, granted, I think Andor is a great show. I'm enjoying it, so I don't want to take anything away from that. But I also recognize that to a certain degree, it's like when I watched Force Awakens in theaters and the build up to Force Awakens, I was on board. I was hyped. I was excited. I loved the movie. I went 23 times to see Force Awakens in the theaters, And then Last Jedi comes out, and my very first reaction to Last Jedi was, has this guy ever watched a Star Wars film? And the reason I said it was because I said he does not say the line that Han Solo, I have a bad feeling about this in the movie. So I'm like, every Star Wars movie has, I have a bad feeling about this. It doesn't matter who says it, someone will say it.
They haven't said it in Andor yet, but I'm sure they will.
And I said, he doesn't have someone getting their arm chopped off. In every single movie, there is an arm being chopped off, a limb being lost. In every single Star Wars movie. It's a Star Wars tradition that a limb, it could be an alien limb, like in Force Awakens, it was the alien squid monster's limb got cut off by the door. So that counts.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And I was like, and then you didn't have a monster thing. In every single movie, there's a Sarlacc pit, a Wampa, a Rancor monster. There's some giant monster that they have to fight. In Star Wars, it was the Dianoga. You know what I mean? So I'm like, every movie, Star Wars, Empire, Jedi, the prequels did the same thing. There was always a monster. There was always, I have a bad feeling about this. Even in the prequels, Anakin or Obi-Wan or someone says, I have a bad feeling about this.
Yeah.
So, and there's always an alien, and someone always loses a limb, or
gets cut in half.
Yeah, or gets completely cut in half. Yeah.
Speaking of limbs, that Barbarian show has a good limb removal.
There's all these little touch points that, and there was no 1138 hidden in the film too, where 1138 was hidden inside of Force Awakens. It wasn't. So Force Awakens still had the traditional things. Someone said, I have a bad feeling about this. Someone lost a limb. There was a monster attack. 1138 was in the background. They had all the elements that made it a Star Wars. No matter how small the element was, they had all the elements that made it a Star Wars movie. But then Last Jedi came out, there was zero of those elements. Absolutely none. So I was like, when I walked out of the theater, I was like, this guy has no idea. He's never watched a Star Wars movie in his life because he doesn't even know one of the main references that are in every single Star Wars film. And that was my very first complaint about Last Jedi. And to be quite fair, Andor is the same way. There's
so far
none of the stuff that makes it a Star Wars show is actually in Andor, and it's kind of like
people enjoy it a lot.
But it is enjoyable, so I don't want to take away from it because maybe those traditions were only what people are going to consider George Lucas traditions, and from here on out, they're no longer Star Wars traditions.
Well, I'm glad that you said all that, because up until right now, I was super enjoying it, and now I don't know. I hate watching it anymore.
A Disney account. No, but the last episode, that scene in the dialogue between Saw Gerrera and Stellanger's character was probably some of the, I think that, in my opinion, the best dialogue in all Star Wars, ever.
Yeah, it was cool. Yeah,
comics, books, TV shows, cartoons for kids. Disney Plus shows, prequels, sequels, original trilogy. That 5 minutes of dialogue between the two, where Saw Gerrera's talking about the rebellion and the separatists and the alt lefts and the alt right. He's just naming off all these different groups of people that I've never really heard of, and his passion about it, and Stellanger's passion about it. Those are some talented actors. And someone gave them a couple of pages of wicked dialogue, and I'll say it again, probably some of the best dialogue I've ever seen in Star Wars, and I'm pretty excited. I got a little bit of goosebumps here, thinking that there's more of that to come. Even though we got 3 episodes left in this season. 8, 9.
Is there 3 or 2? Where are we at? I don't know where we're at.
We just had episode 8, didn't we?
Oh, so we got 9, 10, 11, 12. So 4 to go.
So it's getting close, and it's not going to get worse. I don't think we're going to, at the end of this season, be like, oh, I'm disappointed or whatever. I think it might be one of the better ones. And Book of Boba Fett, they had limbs being torn off, so they still follow a little bit of the same recipes. Kind of. Snoke also got chopped in half too, right?
Yeah, I mean, technically, you're right. Snoke got cut in half, so he lost.
But not in the Last Jedi, right?
He lost a hand in that, but no, I think that was in the Last Jedi.
I think you're going to really enjoy this, Chris. I hope you get to catch up soon when life gets a little bit back to normal, buddy. Yeah, I'm totally enjoying it, man. I'm not a Ahsoka fan, but I hope her show is close to being this good and not just like another Dave Filoni cartoon.
I have a feeling that's going to be very heavily tied into Rebels and Clone Wars and stuff.
Yeah, I'm going to go out on a limb, and I have a feeling I'm not going to like it unless it ties heavily into the Mandoverse and Luke and you know, stuff that I enjoy.
I mean, there could end up being Luke in it though, because
like that
you gotta think, like, if she brings back Ezra, you know, then what's Ezra going to do? Where's he going to fit into?
I can care
like
less.
What gets me,
I want to see Zeb in live action. Other than that, because there Rebels crew, we got 3 aliens, right? Or 3 aliens. We got Zeb, we got the Twi'lek girl, and we got Chopper. So there's 3 elements of Star Wars that we haven't even really seen in Andor yet, like aliens and droid. Like we've seen the droid a couple times, the emo droid.
But I think they showed in the trailer for Mando 3 that you see Hera as a live action person, don't you?
I think we're going to see them all.
Was it Hera and Sabine in one of the shots for the Mandalorian? Yeah.
Well, that was the Ahsoka. I think that was the Ahsoka clip.
Oh, was that the Ahsoka trailer? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Chris is asking what I dislike about Ahsoka. She adds nothing to the story of all of Star Wars except for.
Now I'm offended and I gotta go.
No, but like if you right now deleted every minute of dialogue or video that ever mentioned or showed Ahsoka, including.
But
I could still watch all 9 Star Wars movies.
Yes, that's because she was outside of the main conflict. So they have to keep her having no relevance to the Skywalker saga, because otherwise she screws it all up by showing up. You know?
I get it. I will say I appreciate her as a original character created by Dave Filoni. Hats off to him for creating everything he's created, because he knows what he's doing. He's like George Lucas Jr. kind of at this point for even us older guys. But I think he's the guy that all the 20 and 30-year-olds like worship. Like, and I get it. So I appreciate he created a very strong female character that, you know, would butt heads.
Well, I mean, because a lot of it
and whatnot, but it just
because the same thing could be said about.
I don't. Maybe
the
not.
same exact thing could be said about the Mandalorian himself. The same thing could be said about Boba Fett. The same thing that could be said about, you know, Rex. You know, it's like
no, I hear you.
Like, you know, it's like there's Dr. Aphra. Like there's no bearing. None of these characters have a bearing on the Skywalker saga, so it doesn't change anything. You know, but
could, though, like even like these cartoons that just came out last week, the Tales of the Jedi. Like I enjoyed it. I may not ever watch it a second time because there's not a lot in it for me. Like it's well done animation, like top of the line. Like it doesn't get much better than that. The dialogue and story were decent. The first episode with Baby Ahsoka, I thought was a waste of 15 minutes, or you know, like
me too. It was, yeah.
It's just been a commercial short on YouTube or something. Because it added nothing.
It had nothing to do with anything. Yeah.
The best thing I saw in 5 episodes, they showed Dooku go in the library and erase that planet.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
That was cool. That was something we heard about, but we didn't see. We just heard about it, or someone talked about it. Yoda and the younglings. So that I thought was cool. Dave Filoni wrote that in there. If it was, I'm sure he wrote 100% of the show. And I thought that was cool, and it showed us something we heard about. So if they're going to make cartoons, show us stuff that, you know, maybe show us stuff that's
show the Bothans trying to steal the plans for the second Death Star, getting killed. Yeah.
I'm kind of thinking we're going to.
Many Bothans died to bring us this information.
Andor show, if
that'd be great if we did.
But
we've never seen a live-action Bothan, you know what I mean? And
I appreciate Ahsoka. Ahsoka's the one other character besides basically Anakin, because now these so many shows she's been on, Rebels and the Clone Wars, and now the Tales of the Jedi, and then her own TV show, and then she was in the Mando show. She's the one character outside of Anakin that's in most of Star Wars, and we know we've kind of been seeing so much of her life as a young Snips, which again, her headbutting with Anakin, I thought was cool. And in the Tales of the Jedi one, we just see Anakin being a lot more of a dick to her, right? Like, but it was cool because it was that same headbutting dialogue we got with them in the Rebels and the Clone Wars and stuff. So I don't. She's not my favorite character. I'm not going to say she's my least favorite character. For the past year, I've been saying how much I disliked her because I created an action figure for her, and I'm trying to throw you guys all off. And it worked.
What I thought was a shame because I hope like that. When I remember seeing an interview with who was it? The guy who was the dude that did Abrams? Was it Abrams?
J.J. Abrams
with Force Awakens, and he said that he had a number of ideas for where to go with Snoke, but they never settled on any one idea.
Yeah.
So they didn't plan ahead, but he said that in his head he had like 10 or 12 different options for what he could do. And one of the options he mentioned was that Snoke was a teacher at Luke's school.
Okay.
But once he started going in the direction that Luke didn't want to go in, they had a falling out and he left the school, which is why Han and Leia know Snoke. They say it in Force Awakens. You know what I mean? No, we know it was Snoke. We remember how Snoke was turning and doing blah, blah, blah.
Was that
so it gave you the impression from their dialogue in the movie that somehow Han and Leia knew Snoke, personally, like they had met him before.
Was that in a book that Snoke
No, that was in the movie, remember?
You mentioned Snoke was in a Jedi Academy in the movie?
No, not that.
But, no. Where's that from?
I'm saying that came from Abrams' head. That came from Abrams' head. Oh. Abrams said in an interview
that it was an imaginary story.
Yeah, it was an imaginary. It was not real Star Wars. It was one of Abrams' imagination ideas for where Snoke could have been. But he liked it so much that he put a dialogue scene in Force Awakens where Han and Leia were talking like they personally had met Snoke before. Like in person had met Snoke. You know what I mean? So it led me to believe like that's a cool idea. And the whole way in between Force Awakens and Last Jedi, I was thinking that would be really awesome if Snoke was a teacher at Luke's academy. Because Luke has to run across, like especially now, like with Ahsoka, and if Ahsoka finds Ezra and brings Ezra back to the Republic and everything, okay?
Yeah.
And Ezra meets Luke Skywalker, all right? You're not going to make Ezra and Ahsoka be students of Luke Skywalker because they're just as powerful, if not more powerful, because they've been around just as long, if not longer, than Luke Skywalker. So, and by some aspects, because of Ezra's adventures out in the Outer Rim, he might come back even more powerful than Luke. You know what I mean? Beyond Luke's power. So he wouldn't be a student of Luke suddenly. You know what I mean? So I'm sort of getting at it. I'm getting at an idea of like, why weren't there more than one teacher at Luke's academy? Why was Luke the only teacher, the only instructor? If he's going to meet all these other Jedi... And like we know from the past, the Jedi Council had, 13 or 20 members. I don't know how many there were. And there was like a number of teachers teaching students. So the whole order was set up with multiple teachers teaching multiple students. So why wouldn't Luke ever have got a second instructor? Why would he take this on all by himself and be the only teacher?
The overtime?
He liked the overtime? Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't want to cut you off, but I got to go.
All right. Are you starting in 15 minutes? You guys?
No, in a couple hours. But
it's a couple hours. Okay.
Yeah, I got to go make lunch and stuff.
Yeah.
We'll go another 15 minutes here, John.
All right, guys.
Yeah. I'm fine.
Okay, see you guys.
Bye, Vern. But I just think it would be cool if there was more than just Luke teaching at the academy. You know what I mean?
Like see that. Like that's still something that haven't shown us. So we might see.
And maybe by the time you got to the sequels, Luke was the only one left. By the time he got Ben, he was the only. Like the other ones went on hiatus or decided to go do so, or maybe they were dead. Or decided
I just want to know who kills Ahsoka. Like, because someone's going to kill her. Could it be Luke? Like you never know.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. And if they bring Ezra back, well, now Ezra's got to be dead or whatever by the time.
I think Ezra. Here's my thing on Ezra. I think Ezra will be a villain. I don't think like.
See, that was another idea. One of the other ideas floating around was that Snoke is Ezra. That Ezra turned into Snoke, but then Last Jedi throws that out the window and made it so he was some kind of weird clone.
Snoke,
you know,
literally could be that character in the prison in Andor. Like it's. I'm not saying he is. It actually is. It is possible. It is before the Last Jedi, and you know.
Yeah.
It's possible. Chris, what you're saying here too, like I have really enjoyed the Bad Batch. The Bad Batch is my favorite cartoon Star Wars so far, mostly because they're introducing things that appeal to me, like Macquarie style Stormtrooper. I love that. And I think we might see some of these Bad Batch characters in live action, perhaps in the Andor show, to give us a little more perspective on where they go, like because they might end that show might go another 2 seasons, right? It's for sure going one more, but it could go another.
And the thing is, if now supposedly Rex lived all the way to Return of the Jedi to fight on Endor, then
possible.
The Bad Batch would have lived just as long.
Empire and those books that took place between Star Wars and Empire and between Empire and Jedi. There's a good little time gap there to tell cool stories.
I liked Shadows of the Empire. I wish that was
Mark Hamill and Carrie Fisher and Harrison Ford, and like those are the characters who are in that timeline, and it's going to be hard to get those unless they're in the animated form. But yeah, we'll see. The cartoons is a good way to tell the story of a younger Carrie Fisher or Princess Leia, Luke Skywalker.
Well, the other advantage of doing a cartoon is you could still get Luke to do the voice. I mean, Mark Hamill could do the voice of Luke. You know what I mean? It doesn't.
Ways of the Sith here. Clone Wars and Rebels is 100 times better than Andor. I'm just guessing, but are you between 20 and 35 years old? Like, I'm assuming because of your love for that you are a younger generation. I could be wrong, but I know they're more like episode 1, 2, and 3 appeal to a younger generation because that's their first Star Wars. For me, my first Star Wars was,
Well, I love the Clone Wars, but it has a little bit to do with what you're saying. Like in Seattle, I had a couple of really good friends that I consider some of my best friends, in my life. And Derek and Daryl, they're twins, but they're like 20 years younger than me. And they grew up watching the prequels and then watching the Clone Wars with Dave Filoni. And they got me into the Clone Wars because what happened was Derek started working, at the store I worked at as a younger person. Okay. And we got to know each other over the years and found out we both liked Star Wars. But his love of Star Wars came from the prequels and the Clone Wars cartoon, and he got me into the Clone Wars cartoon because I watched the movie and some of the first season, and I didn't really care for it that much. But with him talking about it, I think it was like the 3rd or 4th season, he got me to sit down with him and watch a few episodes, and we became like a weekly thing. Let's watch the new episode together. And then I had to go back and rewatch, seasons 1 through 3 or wherever to catch up. And I really got on board, and it became like a ritual thing. Every week we would all get together and watch a new Star Wars Clone Wars episode,
With other adults?
It became a real, like, important part of Star Wars because of that camaraderie and the way we would all get together and watch it.
Yeah,
together,
I can appreciate that. Yeah, I wasn't like that with the cartoons. I did watch them. I watched them, almost immediately when they were, available. I'm a Star Wars fan, so if new Star Wars comes out, I'm gonna watch it. Let's face it.
That is true. They filled the gap between Star Wars and Empire, and now they're doing the gap. They're almost done with the gap between Empire and Return of the Jedi.
Or Legend, right? Which
technically Marvel Comics is supposed to be canon, and the new Dark Horse got the license back for doing some Star Wars, and they're going to return to the Legend stuff. So what's going to happen is they're going to break it up where everything Dark Horse produces for Star Wars is going to be Legends, and everything that Marvel produces for Star Wars is supposed to be canon. So it's going to be a big.
Yeah, I hear you, Chris. It's a very good. Let's say it's more of a spy thriller than a fantasy. That fantasy aspect hasn't really shown up yet. A little bit. The music is cool. The acting is on point. It's probably some of the best acting we've seen in any live action Star Wars to date. That's my call. The way it's casted, they've casted, it's Stellan Gard, and these are good actors. Like not Lawrence Fishburne, Saw Gerrera actor. These are brilliant. These are award-winning actors. Like these guys. And a shout out to Moses Ingram winning Best Supporting Actress, recent Screen Actors Guild Awards or whatever awards.
Really, she did. That's neat.
Yeah, she and I called this a year ago. She will win awards. She's a very talented actress, and I enjoyed her role the most out of that show. I'm liking the Andor show better than I like the Kenobi show, and I'm an OG Vader Kenobi fan too. But the Andor, to me, it's just missing a couple aliens and freaking background robots.
Exactly. Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
It'll come. I think there'll be one episode that's like 90% aliens and droids, and I'll be like,
we got a few droids in that one episode, but that was it.
Well, I heard the mouse droid. They show Mr. Serial guy at his computer playing Pong or whatever he's doing, and then you can hear that, and I'm like, oh.
Well, they showed it in that one scene.
Yeah, but you hear it first.
Yeah.
Like in the earlier episode, you could hear the speeder bike.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, oh, I know that sound. And then they show it. And then they did it with the TIE fighters.
It's always like the TIE fighters.
And
you hear that noise.
I'm like, I got the goosebumps but from those sounds, because that's like, I could be dead asleep, and if I hear TIE fighters zinging by and speeder bikes and gonk droids and mouse droids, oh, freaking love it, man. And even the gonk droid in Kenobi was one of the highlights, like gonk, gonk, take that gonk droid, like, just because it brought me back to my ute.
That's what was good about the like, I watched the second season of The Mandalorian again, and when they go after that Imperial base where they gotta drive the 6-wheeled trucks over the bridge and they're blowing up, it's like the TIE fighters show up to help them, and it's like, you're almost cheering for the Empire because they're getting through, but it's like the same laser sounds. You hear that TIE fighter laser sound, and
we still haven't seen this. We know there's some space action in Andor, because in one of the trailers they show
him flying around and shooting lasers.
Lasers. Like, who's chasing them? I want to see that. Hurry up! He owns a droid. It's been in 2 episodes, I think. Nemo droid. Cool droid. Well, I want to see what happens to him that gives him a stutter, and why he has to have a yellow leg instead of 4 red legs, because in the flashback he's got 4 red legs and he doesn't stutter. So
he looks
new. Through some trauma at some point in Andor's growing up. Sadly, it looks like his mom's not going to make it, so that sucks. Like, she's in pretty rough shape, and we'll see what happens on the Andor show. You got anything else going on this weekend, John?
Oh, I want to get a couple of videos out. I got this guy to open at some point. Do a video on.
Oh, nice.
And I'm compare him with the original. I got the original, so I can compare them.
I'm considering my Motu Origins with me to the toy show next month. Like the only one I really I love them. Don't get me wrong, but this guy is.
Oh, that's a cool one. Yeah, I don't have him.
What got me in? Well, it's not the first one I bought, but I mean,
I want that one. I want that one bad. I never got him.
It's cool, man. And now the new one is out. That's actually Mr. T as a wrestler with the camouflage. It was up on Walmart.com. Hasn't shown up in Canada yet, so like maybe next Christmas it'll show up in Canada. Freaking pain in the butt, man. Getting some toys in Canada. But yeah, I don't got much going on. I'm gonna, see if I can sell my skiff, get some stuff ready for the toy show. I've got a couple boxes of stuff that I'm pricing and keeping, so I can have some stuff to sell at the toy show and not sell it all beforehand.
Well, that's kind of what I'm doing. I mean, I've got that side of the living area cleared out, and now it's like usable. My dad can actually sit down in the chair he likes to sit in and watch TV or whatever. And so now it's like this section over here. I got to get the comics out of here, and I got a pile forming. Like I got a 12-inch original Chewbacca vintage Kenner to sell or trade. I don't need them because I've got two of them.
You got all those ammo cartridges?
No, it's no accessories at all.
Oh, okay.
The one that I own for my collection
are worth more than the actual toy.
The one that I own for my personal collection is complete, but this is an extra one, and the extra one has no accessories. But I'm just saying that he's going to go in the pile to go away, and I might get rid of a Stormtrooper too. I got a 12-inch Stormtrooper extra.
Oh, I remember when you bought those, you showed them off. Yeah.
I don't. It's kind of neat having two Stormtroopers next to Darth Vader. So of
course,
I might just keep them.
12-inch vintage Royal Guards.
Yeah, they're cool. And
so again,
but I mean, I got a bunch of Marvel Legends. Like, there's a bunch of Marvel Legends that are still in the boxes stacked up that I don't want. So I got a pile to do either eBay or put on Twitter in our group to trade and see if someone wants them.
3 Marvel Legends left, I think. So reminder, I have 10 of these left. If anyone wants them, I'm not going to put them on my store. I hope to unload them to some people and friends in the chat that might have missed out when it got first released. But also, the next pin that I'm going to release November 1st will have the exact same size box. Any guesses what it might be?
Exact same size box. Shuttle Tidarium?
No, Shuttle was more of a square box.
It's a square box, but so you're keeping the dimensions the same? Okay.
Yeah, because in the original toy, the box was about the same.
I'm trying to think about what you already did that's that size. So,
well, it's a hunk of junk.
You mean you haven't done the Falcon yet? I thought you did the Falcon.
And here's what I think I'm gonna name it is the Enamelian Falcon. I'm trying to come up with a fun name like
Enamelian. Yeah, Enamelian Falcon. Yeah, there you go.
I know I got a lot of good buzz with my Jizz Band. People love Jizz Band, but I put the other name on the backside. But yeah, I think I got another maybe 4 hours of artwork to do on my computer to finish drawing my Enamelian Falcon pin. But so I hope to post some final photos of that today or maybe early tomorrow, so I can maybe get a couple of pre-orders and pay my damn bills and order the toys. Weirdly,
they're saying, did you do an Ewok Village or a Star Destroyer or a B-Wing yet? Any of those?
No, but I want to do them all.
Yeah,
I really do. Right? It's just I can only draw so much in a day and
get the orders for them and set it all up.
Yeah,
it takes a while.
For the action figure pins, I've believe it or not, I've done 45 different pins now. Like,
wow.
Not all of them are from the original 92 because I have some original
some
and custom characters and stuff like that. But I do have the first 21, and I am going to put together maybe like 5 packages of a collect all 21 set and maybe make a cool little box or display background and like maybe put them up for auction or something, just for something fun to do, something a little more rare, so to speak. Because with the pins, I used to make 100 of these pins, but since I've kind of been, I don't want to use their blacklisted, but shadow hidden on Instagram and stuff, I'm not gonna lie, some of the last pins I've only sold 15 and 16 of, and that's very hard for me to order these. I still have to order them because I made them available and people paid me for them. But like the Snaggletooth pins, I made 2 of the Snaggletooths, and I think I sold 16 of each of them. And like that's my lowest pre-sale ever. And that only brings me a couple $100, and I got to pay close to $1,000 to order these, which I did, which is why I'm trying to sell some of these toys because I got these costs, man. It's a pain on the ass. Yes, Jabba and Throne. I'm definitely going to do a pin set for Jabba and Throne. I do have the artwork ready to go, of course, because I've done the patches. Death Star, I would like to do 2 different Death Stars, because we had a different one in Canada, like the UK Palatoy style. So yeah, for sure, man. A naked Wookiee. One thing I started drawing is Bigfoot.
Yeah,
Kenner Pal Bigfoot. But mostly because Bigfoot, you can't trademark it.
No,
so
you can do anything you want.
It says Bigfoot on it, and no one can because it's
you can do whatever you want. He's open market.
Bigfoot's real.
No one owns Bigfoot. Yeah.
Not yet. I'm going to try and trademark it. No, I can't.
Well, you know what I decided I'm going to do with these finally? Like I was toying with different background ideas. I know I sent you a note talking about it at one point. But what I think I'm going to do is a giant pill on each column. So like it'll have a racetrack and then the whole thing will be blue.
Okay.
And then the next one over, like the whole thing from top to bottom will be one pill. And it'll be like yellow, and the next one will be red, and then the next one, so it'll be like blue, yellow, red, and then this one will be green. This one could be purple or whatever. You know what I mean? So
yeah, let me know. I can definitely help you out with some artwork, and then you can, go to your local printer and whatever. Because
that's what
I'm an artist guy.
That's what I'm going to do. Because
I can make a racetrack in any shape or size, and
like these I did with acrylic shelves. I cut acrylic to the right size.
Oh, they look
good. No. I'm going to do that for this one too. This cabinet's just almost temporary because I haven't gone and bought the sheet of acrylic to make those shelves yet, but I will replace those and put a light in this one as well. So they'll both be lit up. And
is that just one light or a couple of puck lights?
No, it's a racetrack of light that goes all the way around the outside,
Like LEDs.
Strip. Yeah, that strip of LEDs, that tape. It's like the tape that you can stick down.
Oh, Vern was in the private chat. I have to go. I don't know. This StreamYard is so weird, man. Like, that just showed up now. Oh, Sarlacc did. That's a good one. Okay, we've gone,
Yeah, all right, man. I'll see you later.
Thanks for joining me, Super John, and thanks to all the cool cats in the chat for stopping by and, giving
I'm always happy to chat. I don't mind.
Giving us a little jibber jabber on your Saturday morning. I haven't done this in the past couple weekends, but I have asked a couple of guests, and a couple of guests have backed out, and I even have 3 guests that haven't replied to me. So, yeah, I kind of think my Instagram is in not turmoil, but I've sent a couple of messages to people on Instagram that normally reply to me that haven't replied to me. So I don't know if they're being blocked or not. I don't think so. I don't think I'm being ignored. I have not made an enemy yet. So. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, cats, and trick-or-treating and all that stuff. Oh, Ghost said he's all caught up. Did he just watch Andor while we were streaming? Nice work. Be safe out there if you're driving on Halloween, and watch out for all those kids with their buckets of candy, and don't take their candy. Give them candy, but not from the back of your van, because that's frowned upon. Unless you're selling some of those speakers, that I got some extra speakers. Do you ever have those guys?
Oh,
hey,
yeah.
Man, buy some speakers, or they're extra from the warehouse. Yeah,
I got extra stereos from the
And then actually had a quick story. A buddy of mine fell for that shit. Like a guy in a white van. Hey man, you want to buy? I got some handy cams here. You want to buy a handy cam? It's still sealed. And he grabs it. He's like, oh, this is actually. He weighed it. Like it was shrink wrapped. Wow, this is a real JVC handy cam. He gave him the $100 or whatever it was. I was with him. We go back to he had a flooring shop. We go back to his flooring shop. He opens it up, and dude, it's a fucking brick. It was a brick inside a camera box.
Really?
Like that's so bad. And he's a big dude too. He's even bigger than me. And he wanted to go rip that guy's throat out like with his fingers. Right? If you ever saw him again, never saw the guy again, man.
See, I had one in a Target parking lot or something. I was coming back from doing my Lego job, and I park in the back, out of the way, so it's not.
Yeah.
Anyways, he was way back there, and he had a truck full of stereo equipment, and he's like, these stereo, it's like the big surround sound, massive. He goes, they usually sell for $600-700, and he's like, look, I've got my invoice right here, and he showed me like an invoice, and he says, but they're extra, and my boss said I just don't want to see them anymore, so I'm supposed to just get rid of them. And he goes, I'll let you have it for like $200. And I was like, no, I don't trust it, whatever. And I get in my car, and I what I thought it was is I thought he was a cop.
Oh, okay.
I seriously thought that the guy was a police officer, and that if you buy the stolen property, he's then going to handcuff you and arrest you, and other cops are going to come out of the bushes or somewhere and be like, "You're buying stolen property, 3 years in jail. See you later." You know what I mean? Like, it's like a sting, and they're just trying to get somebody to put on their books as caught. You know, and you're like, but technically, I didn't do anything wrong. I had no idea what was going on. But no,
Yeah,
they
it's
just throw the
weird,
book
like-
at you. You know?
I don't know if that's a crime here. Like, unless the guy said, "I'm selling you this stolen product. Would you like to buy it?" And then I buy it, knowing it's stolen. Then I guess I can get, slapped on the hand or something. But kind of like a John, like
Yeah.
sorry,
See,
you named John, but like a guy who pays for a legal prostitute. Like, they can go to jail too, even though they're not performing the crime, or
Yeah.
even though, I think it's all freaking legal now anyway. Here in Canada, I think, at least anyway. And
See, I just hear all these horror stories here in the States about people getting in trouble for things like that, and the police will do a sting, and they arrest anybody who's coming to buy whatever they're selling, and
yeah,
it's just to fill a quota,
I'm not a thief. As a kid, though, like, it must have been 1980, 81, 82, 83, around the time Star Wars toys wrote. But with my mom leaving like a Sears or whatever department store, and we're in the car, and she sees I have like I think it was a C-3PO action figure, right? And she's like, "Hey, where'd you get that?" And I'm like, "Oh, I thought you bought it for me. I asked you in the store to buy it for me, and I just walked out with it." And she's like, "No, I didn't. You can't take that." And so I got taught my lesson. And we had to walk back into the department store and return it. And I was all crying, and I'm like, because I don't remember, because I'm old. And but I guess, yeah, I stole it as a kid.
Yeah.
But
the same thing happened with like a giant rubber Godzilla or something that I got. I think with my mom, we were somewhere and I picked him up off the table or whatever. And I was playing with him, and then we got in the car, and she's like, "Where'd you get that Godzilla?" And I'm like, "Well, I had him the whole time. I thought we were just getting him."
Weird. It's like the exact same story.
Yeah, almost exactly the same. And she's like, "No, I didn't buy that." And she marched me back into place and had me go up to the guy to.
That's hilarious.
Tell him I stole his Godzilla, and I was like, "What the hell?" But it scared me enough. It scared me enough to where I didn't steal after that.
Yeah, you know what? A good point, because I never did, even as a kid or a teenager, or I might have stole a cassette tape. But I got caught, so I never successfully stole anything. But yeah, I remember in high school, man, we had a couple buddies who are still good buddies of mine, would just rip the shit off of some mall. Like, they'd go into like Bootlegger or whatever the jean store was.
Yeah.
Go in the change room, put on like 32 pairs of pants, and then walk out the store.
I had friends who didn't even. I had friends who didn't even try to. I got friends that didn't even They walked in. I remember one of them wanted one of those speaker boxes for the back of your car with all the subwoofers, and it was like a 6 foot long box of subwoofers and speakers. So there's no hiding it. There's no putting it in your coat. Two of my friends, walked in the stereo store, picked it up off the floor, and walked right out the front door. And everyone, because they did it so blatant, so obvious, that everyone in the store, all the employees, must have thought, well, they had to have bought that, because no one would be stupid enough to walk out the door. You know what I mean? But no, they didn't buy it. They just knew that no one's going to stop us if we look like we're doing what we're supposed to be doing. If we don't look nervous and you look normal, they're all going to think, because no one likes to confront people. That's a thing. You know what I mean? So
I see a lot of news over the past, maybe month, maybe a little longer, I'm assuming it's actual news, but people in the States, I don't know what cities or states, but are going into department stores and just grabbing a bunch of big screen TVs and just walking out the door, and the people working there are going, "Hey, stop it." And they're like, "Try and stop me," because whatever it is, that state or that city is not prosecuting these kind of, I don't know if any of that's fake or fictional, but I can imagine living in a world where there's no fucking law.
A lot of it is that there's a rule where if I'm an employee, like I remember when I worked at the bookstore, they told me not to ever stop anybody, because if we chase after them and they trip and fall, or if we tackle them and try to get our merchandise back, and they get injured in the process, they can sue the company for injuring them during their criminal activity.
That's crazy, man.
So we get in trouble for injuring the criminal.
Guns for crying out loud.
Yeah.
You get in trouble for tripping a guy. Like,
yeah, we get in trouble. We get in trouble for injuring the criminal. So they told us never to. So that is
that magazine, Rolando, and was it black and white? Just kidding. Orlando's my age. But yeah, sorry to ramble on.
No, it's fun. It's
stealing toy stories as kids. Maybe we'll do a full episode on. we'll all get watched by the RCMP and police, and they'll catch us. But enjoy the rest of your weekend, everyone. Happy Halloween.
Bye, guys. Stay awesome out there, everyone.
Thank you.